4. And I'll leave number 1, leave number 4 off. All right.
Okay.
All right.
You want to do another opening or? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll just, we'll pick it up from here.
All right.
All right. So, we are now live, and it's really live because this was not a scheduled stream. You got it?
No sound, but so far, but.
Oh, well, the sound will catch up.
Okay.
We've got, all the mics are on. Let me make sure everything's on.
Okay.
On the board. Yep, the board is on.
Good.
So, I'll turn the sound up on my phone and see if it's caught up with us. Because there is a delay. Mm-hmm. And let me see. Oh, well, the sound will catch up. Yeah, perfect. The sound is up and operating. So I don't want to go into a lot of technical, but yesterday, and this is why we had the issue yesterday, although the strange thing about it was our logo filled the screen, and I don't know where it was coming from, as far as, but anyway, that's another bug, we'll say. We lease the software that we use to do the Wake Up Wilmington streams and the Wake Up Washington course. All these streams, there's a software company that designs the software that in most cases works fairly flawlessly. They had a major upgrade day before yesterday, and we didn't really have an opportunity to test it or to be able to actually see how it worked, because believe it or not, unbeknownst to some people that think I do nothing after I'm off the air the first 2 hours of the day, I'm constantly working day in and day out. For instance, after we're off the air today, we're going to finish up the wiring on Main Street to put the new speakers in to the new Music on Main system. But anyway, the software upgrade was on our side, but YouTube made an incredible major upgrade to the way it's operating and the services and the features that it's implementing. So those two things occurred on the very same day. And I think that between the two of them, they're not communicating completely, because typically we have a button, we hit the button, we go live. After I've already set up a stream, we do this, usually I set the stream up the night before. So I have to set up Wake Up Wilmington, all the stuff that you see on the screen, update everything. And then when I hit live, you cross your fingers, and in 99.9% of the time up to the last couple days, when we hit live, it works. It also records it so that in the event that, as in yesterday, we had the failure, I guess you could say, I went ahead and I uploaded to both our Facebook and YouTube pages the actual stream. So that's why you were able to watch it after the fact. Now, this morning we started the stream and we were having very similar problems where going live, we weren't live. It said it was still waiting. You folks were out there waiting for the stream to come on. It even announced it 30 minutes before the show, as it always does, but it didn't go live. So I'll have to talk with the people from the software company to see if they know what the issue is or what we do to correct it. But it's probably some miscommunication or not communicating properly between our streaming software that we lease and YouTube and making that connection. But with the new things that YouTube has on the horizon, it will blow Facebook out of the water. The things that we will be able to do with the new YouTube is going to be phenomenal. So these are growing pains. And so we have to go through sometimes growing pains in order to get to, a much better level or situation. And once again, I'm sitting at the table, so I'm not back using this, running the switcher or anything like that. So we are seeing plenty of people. Joanne is on, Michelle is on, and Michelle Thibault even made a trip in yesterday. I got a big hug from her.
Good.
She's going to have some additional surgery. And won't go into details or anything, but we wish her luck, and we'll love to see her on when she gets through all this, and she may even come in and be on the show more. She's been on the show before. Now, she did say she probably isn't riding her motorcycle into the studio here, into Charlie's to be on the show. But anyway, we'll take whatever we can get. Joanne, come in your BMW or whatever you drive. I know you all know Uncle Punky. Got a good sense of humor. Not a bad looking guy. Are you still going to work on your beard?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
You're going to grow a full beard?
Yeah, I think so, until November, and then boom, done.
So why November?
Just because No Shave November, I'm doing it early.
No Shave November.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I hope women don't do that.
I know. Yeah.
It would tear up your legs.
Yes.
But anyway, No Shave November. I remember that. They do that every year.
Yeah.
And why November? Because you need to stay warmer or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I would think. I know there's something behind it, but I'm not sure.
When I did my little tumble down the stairs, I didn't want, I usually shave in the bath or in the shower. And so for, I don't know, it was probably at least a couple weeks, I didn't shave because I didn't want to spend any more time in the shower for fear that, with the concussion and that, if I were, to collapse or fall over or, weebles wobble, then I didn't want to, have them have to fish me out of the shower naked and take me into the hospital. So anyway, I did not shave for two. And when the hair starts growing on my face, and it bothers me, I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's sort of like, I don't know, if you've got a bad tooth or something, you're always, or you've got a tooth that's broke off, or you got some kind of roughness on one of your teeth or whatever. You always want to stick your tongue on it, and you run your tongue over till it's, anyway.
Yeah, I'm past the itchy stage.
So I as soon as I was able and felt, able to stand up, and as long as I needed to shave, because I don't like shaving in front of the mirror. I don't know what it is, but it seems so much simpler for me. And I'm not one to get into a lot of complications, so I don't want to. I don't want to go through a lot more than I have to. Even with my hair, or these stylists, they say, "Do you want to put this in it, or do you want to do that to it?" I just want it so that if it dries, it is the way it is. I don't have that much left anyway, so you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're at that stage of our life. I am, at least. Yeah. You're younger than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife still asks, "Why do you pay for a haircut?" So.
Well, but your hair looks good. Yeah. And my hair, like I said, it's obviously over the years it's thinned. I don't even know if I guess there's things now. Was it Hims or whatever they? There are things that you can take, or you can use the shampoo or whatever that supposedly thickens the hair and all that. But I've never been like I've never been. I'm just not that type of person.
Sure.
I try to keep it as simple as possible. Anyway, we will try to get everything corrected with the software issue. I just wish that this was Friday so that we had the. But then again, I don't know. I don't know if our customer service people at the software company would be available this weekend or not. But I'll put a ticket in tonight, or when I get off the show. Once I get past doing all this wiring that we're doing after the show, later in the afternoon when I'm not doing anything, right? But anyway, we'll try to get the software situation corrected so that tomorrow when we hit stream, I don't have to worry about it not working. And I may, even if I get a little chance tonight, I may set up a fake stream and test it. And that way I'll see whether it works tonight. But first I've got to find out what they recommend as far as, and once again, I don't want to get into a lot of complication, but there's two ways to set a stream up. And you have to set the stream up, schedule is what it's called, schedule the stream. YouTube has its own built-in program that allows you to schedule a stream like we're doing here. Our software also has a built-in scheduling software. And so what that does is I go in and I set it up for the day, the date, the time, 8 o'clock in the morning and all that, so that when I hit live, you cross your fingers and it works. It hasn't been doing that the last couple days. And so there's something where YouTube and our software is not communicating. And when you do a major upgrade, like both these companies did at the same time, that makes it even, doubly dangerous, because the things that can go on with software is just unimaginable. But so what's new on and once again, Uncle Punky will be the host of Wake Up Washington Courthouse as we get that ramped up. And we've got exciting things that are happening all the time, just like the installation of these speakers. We're going to have a citywide music system, and you'll be able to, we'll have these QR codes pasted everywhere around town. You'll be able to scan the QR code. It'll take you immediately to the citywide music system. You can listen to it on your phone. You will get information about merchants in the area. You'll get information about, besides, music. It'll run from about 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. over the speakers on Main. There'll be additional speakers we will add in the future down on Sugar Tree, so that if you're out at any of the pocket parks, or you're out, on Sugar Tree during festivals, and that music will be available. Now, we'll probably have a way to mute it so that if bands come in, of course, if a band comes in, you're not going to hear it anyway. So, but anyway, it'll be along Sugar Tree. It will be along Main Street initially, and we're just going to hopefully finish up by the end of the week on Main. We have some more wiring to run upstairs into our studio, where we have the automation equipment, and we're using the same automation equipment basically that we use for our WZAA in Jeffersonville, because no one is in the transmitter or at the transmitter. It just, we program it, we can remote in, and we can figure out what music we want to play in that. And my partner does all that stuff. I don't program the station. It's an oldie station up there. I don't know how much it will parallel what we're going to be doing on Main. I would like to play a little more modern music than the oldies that we play at WZAA. But the key is that our Wake Up Wilmington will broadcast over those same speakers from 8 to 10 in the morning. So we'll wake everybody up on Main Street.
Oh, yeah.
Because there are people living upstairs in these. We'll probably, I can imagine what we're going to hear. But, so that will start. We're trying to get ready for, obviously, Holidazzle and the big parades and all that, so that we can have Christmas music out there, come November. So that's part of the reason to hurry up and get this stuff done. Plus, it's going to get cold. Yeah. I mean, we're already seeing the weather start to be a little nippy. Right. And, I think, right now the high today is going to be in the 60s. I don't think it's going to get much warmer than that. So, it is becoming fall. It is getting colder, and we've got a lot ahead of us as far as to finish up. There's other stuff that we've got going on. I'm not going to get into it right now, but we're working on the huge mural, which will be on the Buckley Silo, which will face this direction, west, so that from this direction you'll be able to look down Main Street east, and you'll see that side of the Buckley Silo will be a huge American flag from top to bottom, which is kind of a neat project. And I'm not going to tell you what it costs, but it's an arm and a leg. And that's all thanks to TimberTech making a very generous donation to pay for everything that's going on with that mural that they're putting up there. That will be by far the biggest mural in Wilmington, Ohio. And then we're also installing cameras, and they're not speed cameras, although maybe I could send some people some speeding tickets or something, or parking tickets or something. Yeah. Make some side money there. Yeah. But these cameras will be what we'll call weather cameras. But really what they are is you'll be able to go to the Main Street Wilmington page, and maybe we'll have another page you'll be able to access it to. But you'll be able to access the camera or cameras, because we'll have multiple cameras. The first one is going up at the corner of Mulberry and Main, right there at the General Denver. The city of Wilmington generously is working with us to get that camera installed once we give it to them. And it will be out on one of the arms, where they put the traffic light. And I think we're building a little tray that it'll set on. I'm not sure. But the camera will be accessible 24/7, and you'll be able to, for instance, the parade comes under that camera when we have Holidazzle, so people will be able to log on and watch the parade as it passes underneath that camera. Of course, we'll still stream the parade. But there's just a lot of neat things. This weather network, if you want to call it, will allow people to access cameras all over the Wilmington downtown area and see what's going on in Wilmington, Ohio, besides just tuning into Wake Up Wilmington. And then with the speaker systems and the music system that we're going to put in, we'll be able to have music. We'll be able to talk about some of the merchants. They can be advertising. So just a lot of neat things that we've got planned for downtown and the Wilmington area. And I think for the most part, it'll all be improvement as far as what we do. Sure. And that we may even occasionally stream Wake Up Wilmington to the WZAA. That's why we're toning things down, folks. We're going to avoid the rabbit hole. We're trying to make this more of a PG program. Now, it's still going to be fun, and we'll still be goofy. But at the same time, we've obviously had some bumps in the road, so to speak. So we're sort of reinventing this, or maybe taking it back to the original concept of Wake Up Wilmington, and going to do that. We've got some new people on board that are going to be helping us and that we're collaborating with, and we're meeting with them this coming week. But they were on the show yesterday, Molly Campbell and Dustin Pierce, and they have Real Change Wilmington, which is a monthly news publication, but we're actually going to work with them. They're going to help us because they may host the show once a week. They'll be bringing in people that are already being featured in their newspaper, and those people will be able to come in and be on the show. That'll help us because it'll help as far as some of the people that we bring in, as far as not having to worry about, programming down to the least level. But Molly and Dustin are, some good people, and they will be working with us in the future as far as what we're doing here on Wake Up Wilmington. And with you, you're already setting things up, trying to get things lined up. And you working for the government up there in Fayette County, you'll have a lot of access to a lot of those people. And this Vinyl Coffee location is absolutely phenomenal.
Yes.
It is by far the neatest coffee shop I have ever been in. Right. And I encourage everyone. Branson Moody is the owner of Vinyl Coffee. Branson is a visionary at the young age of 27.
Yes.
And he has created a work of art when it comes to this coffee shop. Their old coffee shop was not bad, but this was his original vision, and he is achieving that and behind us as we envision this, and we're going to be doing a test just to test the camera angles and all that. I think at the 19th, which is a Sunday, they're closed. So we're going to go in, we're going to set up the equipment and that. Behind us, where we see this set that we have here, the set for Wake Up Washington Courthouse will literally be the courthouse, because he has these huge windows that he's installed when he gutted the building and he's redone it. And they're ceiling to floor windows. Yes. And a beautiful view behind us will be that courthouse in Washington Courthouse. And so the people that sit at the table the backdrop will be the courthouse itself. So you couldn't have a more picturesque, courthouse view. We already have a lot of people excited in Washington Courthouse about a Washington Courthouse edition of Wake Up. So, once again, we're trying to sort of franchise this and be able to bring information. And yes, they are occurring simultaneously, because I know that yesterday, I think Joanne, she was asking yesterday as if the shows were going to go on at the same time. And yes, they are. And some may say, well, why? Well, first of all, there's only so many hours we have in the day. So if we're going to do these Wake Up shows, they need to be consistently from 8 to 10 or whatever together. We have fiber here at the Murphy now, after long awaiting it. We've had fiber now for, 2 months. There is Glow Fiber in Vinyl Coffee. And if we have to add additional bandwidth or whatever there, we'll do that. But by having fiber in both locations, the communication between there and here will be like we're sitting next to each other. And so if we interview someone here in Wilmington that is of particular interest to both Fayette County and Clinton County, we can feature them live on both shows at the same time, just as though they were sitting in one or the other locations. And our software does much more than what we even use it for. So we're going to start little by little introducing some of the new features, or the features that we've had for the last year and a half on this software. And they're continuing to upgrade it and to make it better and all that. And that will make our broadcast better. And obviously, the reason that we chose to go with YouTube rather than the Facebook was because Facebook started deleting, after 1 month, deleting our broadcasts that were live streams. So that's why I go at the end of each show and I upload to Facebook that current broadcast that we do, so that people that want to watch it on Facebook can. But believe me, the ability to watch it on YouTube is so much better. The quality is so much higher. YouTube was designed for social, media. For this kind of broadcast. Facebook was designed for social media. And so, if you want to talk with your friends and you want to, exchange pleasantries, Facebook is what you do. But their streaming platform, and that's why they've stopped keeping live broadcasts longer than 30 days, they don't have the capacity, that they're not built from the ground up like YouTube is to be able to do live video like this. And that's why so anyway, that's it in the nutshell. We apologize for the delay once again today. We're going to try to get it cleared up, maybe no later than Monday. I'll have to look at the software as well. But like I said, we're going to be introducing new features that our software does and that YouTube is now instituting. YouTube is second to none when it comes to streaming video. And that's why, I think we made the right decision staying with YouTube as our primary platform and then uploading later to Facebook. But we'll still get the Facebook views, and for the people that want to watch it on Facebook or that have issues with trying to connect to YouTube. But anyway, and YouTube works really well if you've got a smart television. You can download the YouTube app and you can pull up Wake Up Wilmington on YouTube, on the YouTube app on your smart television, and you can watch it right like you would watch any other television program. So we're going to take a break here. I'm going to go over and run a couple ads. We'll be right back, and we'll have some real entertainment, hopefully. You got the girls lined up?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Yes.
Rockettes are coming in, so be
Yes.
prepared.
Yes.
Roller Haven is located at 1640 U.S. Highway 22 Northwest, Washington Courthouse, Ohio, the perfect place for a day out with the family, birthday parties, and even an organization event or fundraiser. Check out our website, rollerhavenwch.com, or give us a call at 740-335-6481, and we can help plan your event. We look forward to seeing you there.
The final resting place haunted junkyard is located at 988 Polk Road in Sabina, Ohio. Our hours of operation are 8 to 12 on midnight Friday and Saturday nights through the month of October. Our opening weekend is the last weekend of September.
Welcome to downtown Wilmington, Ohio, the place to be. Experience something new with your family and friends in this vibrant and family-friendly historic district. When it comes to dining, shopping, and entertainment, downtown Wilmington has it all. From quick bites to high-end diners, we have a variety of food options to satisfy your taste buds. Explore our artisan boutique shops, jewelers, and florists for unique finds. Pamper yourself with soothing spa treatments, rejuvenating massages, and stylish haircuts at our top-notch studios. Dive into the world of art with our captivating galleries, and catch a show at the historic Murphy Theater featuring awe-inspiring performances and cultural events. Immerse yourself in history by visiting our iconic landmarks, such as the Murphy Theater, historic General Denver Hotel, our Cultural History Center, and beautifully preserved historic architecture. Throughout the year, Main Street Wilmington hosts a variety of exciting events that embody the spirit of our town. From the hometown Holodazzle illuminated parade to the family-friendly Halloween event and our lively wine walk, there's always something fun happening. Additionally, the Convention and Visitors Bureau presents a summer concert series featuring the annual Rock the Block, and we also have our weekly farmers markets. We boast a designated outdoor refreshment area where you can purchase alcoholic beverages and carry them as you explore the town. So what are you waiting for? Plan your next weekend getaway in downtown Wilmington. Head over to mainstreetwilmington.com for all the latest updates on events, dining, shopping, and entertainment. Downtown Wilmington, Ohio is the place to be. We extend our gratitude to Ralph's American Grill, World Equestrian Center, and R&L Carriers for their sponsorship that supported the creation of this video.
Live. We're back.
We're back.
Yeah.
You know, I'm kind of saddened by one thing, though. When you get the cameras for the weather, then we won't have Uncle Punky's look outside weather anymore.
Well, that's right.
Yeah.
Because, well, some of the other stuff that we're working on, and we've talked about our studio upstairs before. We have a studio which we actually rent that is upstairs on the second floor of the Murphy Theater. There's also what we'll call the production studio, which that studio is used by the theater, and we are going to be, these commercials that you used to see, and I still have the commercials, I probably should start playing them again, because they're funny. And I've got some of the older ones, which we haven't played for maybe over a month and a half, 2 months, that would be new, you know.
Yeah.
But the production studio is where a lot of that magic happens with Amanda and with Steve. And those are produced, usually they'll produce like a week at a time, because that's what you can do when you're doing this kind of thing. And those commercials are only 30-second commercials. So, you know, you only have 5 times 30 seconds, 150 seconds, whatever, that you produce once a week. So you can do all that. Basically, you sit down for a couple hours and knock them all out. And then they do a special one, I think, for Monday's edition or whatever that they put on the Murphy website. But we've been unable to do that. It really is true. Finding the right people, but especially when you're talking technology or theater or some of the other things, that we deal in, finding those people, they don't grow on trees. Right. And that's why it's essential that we have this new agreement with Wilmington College that is going to help us and help the college as far as their sports productions. But it will also help us because, and we've used over the years, I've had, 3, 4, 5 interns from Wilmington College. And we've talked with the college and they said, hey, we'll give you as many interns as you need. But the great thing about the interns are typically they're studying in areas of expertise that we could use, whether it's theater or whether it's graphic arts, whether it's social media, whatever it is. Maddie, who was our intern last year, and she appeared on this show a lot. She's not appeared this year, but she is the social media guru at Wilmington College's athletic department. And so a lot of that, she actually gets NIL money. She was on the soccer team, but she sustained an injury, so she's not playing soccer any longer. I think she's running track and doing some other stuff this spring. But she handles all the social media for the athletic department at Wilmington College, or at least most of it. And when we do, because a lot of you folks may or may not see Wilmington College sports, because now it's pay-per-view. We do the production. We actually, we take the equipment in and we produce the sports, like the football game that we're going to do this Saturday. But we do not, it's not our Campus Nation product. It's Flow Sports. The league that Wilmington is in, the OAC, they signed a 5-year contract with Flow Sports, big sports production company. Flow Sports doesn't have individuals in every school, in every place in the country. So what they do is they talk with the schools. They say, who would you recommend? Who does your streaming before? It was us. So, we want to work with them. So we're literally subcontractors. So all the product that we produce is Flow Sports, and it is regulated by them, and it's regulated by the league and Wilmington College. And so now that we're working in that capacity with them, we anticipate even a closer relationship, and as far as finding, that we'll be using more interns, and it will help us as far as in our productions. We may even be able to help out bringing in some more technical people as far as the theater, because right now, at the theater has lost a lot of very quality people, technical people, people that were doing graphics, people that were doing other aspects of the theater as far as, actual hands-on during the productions or running cameras or whatever. All that has changed over the last, probably a year and a half. And so it's hard to find those people anymore. And so when you look at interns in the college, that's probably one of the best sources to find someone that at least is studying, and it helps the students because they get college credit when they come in and they work with us. They're getting college credit in their field of study, and then at the same time, we're getting their services, and it's not costing us any money because, for the most part, we don't make any money anyway. This is all community oriented. But it's the same thing with the theater. And what has a lot of static?
Mic. Apparently.
I wonder if it's the mic over there. Let me turn the other mic off.
Okay.
All right, Michelle, you let me know if the static, now it's not going to go away immediately because there's a delay, but you let me know if because that microphone is the mic, and we thought where we placed it on the table that had gone away, but it may not be where we place it on the table. It may be that particular microphone in that location, because I'm not using the same mic. We have 4 of them here. That's mic number 4. I usually put mic number 1 over there, so it's possible that maybe that mic. But so let us know as soon as you have surmised that it is or it still is not. There's no static. We got a magician online. Rita Wolf's online. Michelle Tebow, Joanne. Hey, Uncle Punky's online.
He is.
And you're loving that new Samsung phone, the Galaxy phone that you just.
Yes, my wife hooked me up. Yes.
It was your wife?
Oh, she does all my stuff.
You owe her big time.
Yeah.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Well, and she's probably been grateful that we've been taking you out of her hair.
Yes, that's for sure.
So that's been helping. Yeah. Much better. Okay, so there's something about microphone 4 and its placement over there. So what we'll do is because I usually take microphone number 1 and put and see these are wireless mics, obviously. The wireless equipment that actually transmits the signal, the way that it works, obviously we speak into a wireless mic. Back behind the camera, there is a unit, a receiving unit that receives the audio, and it's fed into our board. And Michelle, you've sat back there, so you know what we're talking about, or basically have an idea. All that's done, and so if they're in proximity to power supplies, things like that, any number of things can cause, especially with audio, can cause issues. And I am a stickler. I like the audio to be nice and clear, and typically we normally have it. That's why when we don't, everybody's first to point out that we've got some noise or static or whatever. But anyway, so hopefully that will take care of that, at least for the rest of the show. And then we do have some actual entertainment. It's not all technical in that, but I think that a lot of people that are watching or have watched the show do have an interest in where we're, what we're planning, where we're going, what we're devising, because I think that it's going to make everything so much better. We've not really integrated my radio station, WZAA, in Jeffersonville. We've not really done anything but play music on it for, probably the last 3 or 4 years. We used to have some of our Campus Nation sports stuff streaming over it, I know we went up to the Vineyard up there in Xenia, and we did some, because they did open mic, and we broadcast some open mic and all that. So we're going to start getting back to using and utilizing the station for something more than just playing music. And we're going to try to, put some of the stuff that we're doing with you there in Washington Courthouse. And it will give us a little bit more exposure for the merchants that are on Wake Up Washington Courthouse or Wake Up Wilmington if we stream it up there. And I did a test, believe it or not, once again, working till late night. I was probably up till like 11:30, but I have another iPad. I've got 3. This is a mini iPad, but it's all that I need. But I have software that directly connects to our transmitter in Jeffersonville and allows us to stream whatever's plugged into the iPad over the air to the transmitter and then thus over the air in Jeffersonville. So I was working on that. I had to set it back up again last night and test it. And sure enough, it looks like everything's going to work fine. And I'll probably have to pick up some more iPads. That's one of the things as far as everything else. My life savings and my retirement are all wrapped up in all this little stuff that I do. And believe me, it adds up after a while. You look at all the equipment that we've got and even if you look at us using phones for cameras, an iPhone is expensive as a DSLR.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to spend $1,100, $1,400. These new 17s, I think some of them are up to $1,500, $1,600. I don't know what your phone cost, but it probably wasn't cheap.
$750.
Well, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
That's not bad. And and is that the latest Galaxy?
Actually, it's
Maybe a
pretty
year
new.
old.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like I've got the latest iPhone when it was a 16, but now 17s are out. So,
Sure.
You can't keep up with, they roll them out because that's the only way they're going to make their money. But, all right. So if anyone out there has any questions, just post them there and we will be happy to answer them. What time we got? It's 4:40 or 8:48. Better not be 4:48. 8:48. Do we have anything that we are bringing up here?
Yes, I have the today in history for this day.
Oh, okay. So we do have history.
Yes.
But is it the history from today or is it the history from?
It is for today.
But it's on this day
Yes.
in the past.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Let us have it.
All right.
Today in history.
1962, Uganda achieved independence from British rule on this date, back in 1962, from British rule.
Isn't that about when you were born?
Pretty close. About 5 years later. Yeah.
5 years later?
Yeah.
Oh, you're even younger than that, huh?
Yeah. Well, no, later. Like
Oh.
67.
Okay, 67.
Yeah. Newer. 1936, we have first generator at the Boulder Dam.
I think that's probably when Joe Davis was born, 36.
That could be.
Yeah.
Which is now the Hoover Dam, which is kind of interesting. The name changed.
Did they change it because Hoover sponsored the dam or something?
I'm not sure. Is that it? Yeah.
Well, and isn't that the dam where instead of the water running out, it sucks it back in because it's a Hoover?
Oh, I've never heard that. So, yeah.
I just made that up.
Hey, that's good advertising. Yeah. For the vacuum
send me a
company.
vacuum cleaner for free.
Yeah. And 1812, during the War of 1812, American forces, I thought this was really interesting, captured 2 British ships on Lake Erie.
So they tried to sneak in the St. Lawrence. Was the St. Lawrence Seaway in existence there, or was there a passage that they merely? Because there's a few like Niagara Falls and that.
Sure.
Until if you look at the Great Lakes and you look at how they're connected, obviously the water runs from Lake Superior all the way down into Lake Ontario, is it? So, and there are some falls like the Horseshoe Falls and the great, the American Falls and that. And it's not like you're going to run a boat up the other direction, right? Yeah. A lot of people have come over them in a barrel, but I don't think there's been any ships or boats going. So in order to capture them in any of these lakes, you would have had to have been able to get to them. And they're all lower than the next one. So, they did, when they built the St. Lawrence Seaway, they dredged, and if you look at a map, the St. Lawrence Seaway runs above the Great Lakes. And so you leave the Great Lake and you go above, and then you go to the next Great Lake, and so on and so on. So I don't know how they would have caught them in, because back then they wouldn't have had the Seaway. We'll have to look that up.
1812 too.
Yeah,
So,
1812
yeah.
that's when Joe was born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 1986, the debut of Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical The Phantom of the Opera in 86.
Aren't we doing something here at the Murphy? What's the production that we're doing? I need to get.
Yeah.
I'll have to pull that.
I have heard that too.
There is a production that is, scary.
Yeah.
That we're doing here at the Murphy as well. Yeah. And Steve won't be in this afternoon or this evening or whatever time. He normally comes in around 9:30, 9:20, something like that. But Steve, he's working on a project, I guess. So at least through the end of October, Steve will not be coming in to be on the show, which is kind of nice because, like, with all the rebranding and all the stuff that we're doing, it'll be nice that when we launch your program, which will be about the 3rd of November, everything will have been caught up. All the software will be, will work. We'll have all the things that we need for all the different wake up programs and all that. So we'll have a big launch of all the programming.
Sure.
What's the next one?
Well, kind of going back a little bit, 1888, the Washington Monument. There we go. Open to the public on this date.
Have you ever been in?
I have not. No, never been.
It's
to
very
DC.
interesting. But of course, it's on the mall in D.C., and it's been a long time since I was in D.C. I was in high school, and it was kind of a trying time in my life because I had just broken up with my girlfriend when I was in high school, and I think I was, I probably would have been like a sophomore. But anyway, so I wasn't paying a lot of attention to Washington, D.C. when I went there. But the thing that I found most interesting about D.C. was we visited the Mint. I like that. To look at, they had this room and it was full of $1 bills.
Oh, wow.
As far as you could look up, the ceiling. All $1 bills. This whole room that's all it was $1 bills. And so anyway, but, we went to and the interesting thing about it, there was a Howard Johnson across from the famous Watergate Hotel, the Watergate office building. And at the time, of course, nothing had happened at the Watergate because Nixon was not president. But we stayed at this Howard Johnson across from the Watergate. And it wasn't until years later when I saw the iconic building that they showed. And I said, wait a minute, I've seen that building before. And of course, the Watergate was the hotel that we stayed at when we were there in Washington, D.C. And, surprisingly, Richard Nixon was the first person that I ever voted for president. Oh, wow. That was when I had been old enough to, to actually cast a vote. And so he was the first president that I voted for as far as being able to vote. Of course, we know how that turned out.
Yes.
Any more?
Yes. Well, I don't have any more, but I do got to tell you about something that happened last night. It's just, I mean,
can we put this on the air?
Yes.
We're trying to go PG now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
all right.
I came to have a lot of friends in the the past since the show and everything. So I got a Martian
from the show.
Well, yeah.
From the
general public.
Yeah. So you go to Walmart and someone says, "Hey, I know you.
Yeah.
You're Uncle Punky."
Well, my Martian friend.
Martian?
Yeah. Last night, I thought I'd bring him over to the house and kind of let him know about our technology and how advanced we are, thinking I could...
This is your Martian friend?
Yeah, I thought I could one-up him. So, I thought, well, okay. So I went to the fridge and I looked at the fridge and I had a cup of yogurt and a baked potato. No, it was a tomato, actually.
I hope this is going somewhere.
Yeah, it is. It is.
A cup of yogurt and a baked potato.
Yeah, and I thought, well, what can I do? So I threw it in the microwave. First, I threw the yogurt in and I pushed the baked potato button.
For the yogurt?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it didn't turn into a baked potato, so I was really puzzled.
So your technology wasn't working.
Right.
Okay.
Same way with the tomato.
So
it didn't turn into pizza.
It wasn't. The tomato did not turn into pizza.
No. So I blew
Did the pizza have tomato on it?
No, not even close. It's just, I thought that button would turn it into something different, and, didn't.
Did you press the popcorn button and see if it turned it into popcorn?
You know what? I didn't. I didn't try that. Maybe that's it.
You should try that. Yeah, because, and it works. Most popcorn buttons actually work.
Oh, yeah.
So when you put that bag of popcorn in there, just make sure you have the right side turned up, because
Yes.
I've done that before, and that doesn't work out very well. But
Yeah.
anyway, make sure that the right side is turned up. Push the popcorn button. I don't know how many seconds it actually is on. I don't know whether it's a minute and a half or whatever, but it's already programmed into the most microwaves. You just hit the popcorn button, and you all of a sudden, if you listen, you hear the, and then it gets louder and louder, and you look in there, and there's a full bag of popcorn.
Yes.
The only thing you have to be careful of is steam is created as it pops, because it releases the steam. And when you go to get it and bring it out, be careful you don't have your hand towards the end of the popcorn bag where the vent is, because you will burn your hand.
Yeah.
That's the only downside to making popcorn. And that's about the extent of my cooking experience. So we may have a Making Popcorn with Rick show sometime in the future on the network.
Yeah.
I know Steve was going to come in and toast bread.
Yeah.
He's really good at that. So he was going to toast some bread for our audience to see how they could do that. And he probably can show you how you adjust the side, and sometimes it gets browner, or sometimes it actually gets burnt. I like burnt bread. I like, when it's in the toaster and it actually gets black on one. I like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Kevin Martin says he keeps potatoes on hand just for that reason.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, I keep a supply of potatoes on hand, Kevin, but I have a potato cannon. You know what that is?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. You load the potato in it. You can shoot it, a fair distance. It also is good, because it's legal in all 50 states. It's not really mobile. You can't carry it with you, as easily. You can't conceal or anything like that. But still, the potato cannon is good for self-defense. And if you use rotten potatoes, it's even better. Because once that baby splats on someone, they almost pass out. They throw up at least. But anyway, potatoes, they're good for that use, if nothing else.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to see you on here, Kevin. I didn't see you earlier, and I thought, well, because I think we had a technical question that we never got answered. I don't remember what it was now, because I'm old, and I don't remember that long. But anyway, potatoes have a lot of good uses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wow.
All right, so we've got this day in history done. I know that you being the new host of the new program there in Washington Courthouse, is there anything in particular that you want to tell the audience as far as things that you're lining up, people that you're talking to? I know you work in government. Explain what it is that you actually do for a living, if we want to call it that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a government job, folks.
Yes. And I've done it 36 years in total, I guess.
So you're probably going to have a lot of pension coming to you at some point.
Yeah, I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're going to retire soon, you hope, sooner than later. But they keep drawing you back in, right?
Well, yeah, and my wife likes me working, so I'm not home.
Well, but we're trying to do that now. You're running camera for us on Friday nights at the football games. And certainly, if I talk with your wife, there's probably all kinds of things we could put you up to.
Oh yeah, she'll ship me out.
That's right. She would probably she might even pay us some extra money to get rid of you.
She might.
Well, I mean, at least temporarily or whatever.
Yep.
But you're right. You're saying right now she's keeping you around because the income is appreciated.
Yes.
Is that it?
That's yes.
And you're not really that old. How old are you?
58.
Oh, that's old.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're not really that old. But 58 compared to 72 is young. So, what are you going to do when you grow up, though?
I don't know. I don't think I'll ever grow up.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
Well, you're a internationally renowned, internationally and all that. Of course, most of your work has been outside the country in Canada.
Yes.
But fisher person?
Yes.
Fisher Price? I don't know.
Yes.
So, and do you have a specific fish that you prefer?
Yeah. I mean, right now, crappies. Right now,
Crappie?
you can find them anywhere. You know. So, and it's
I always confused crappie with bluegill. They're not the same, right?
They're not. And actually, if the truth be known, bluegills taste better than crappies.
Oh, do they?
But they don't get the size.
Do you have to cook them first?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, definitely.
And you have to scale them? You take the scales off?
Yeah, but I've learned over the years how to not scale them. I cut skin off.
You're able to get the skin peeled back and all that?
Yep.
That might be a little too violent for our audience here.
Yes.
Our PG rating just went up to 13.
Yes.
Well, now that we're talking about scaling fish.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And then, it's just, and it's one thing that kept me out of trouble all them years.
Fishing?
Fishing.
And you've purchased a boat.
Yep.
And you've been working on getting it ready so that it's seaworthy.
Yes.
Right? And you've not launched it yet, though, have you?
No. I've been humbled by this because I'm rebuilding everything.
From the ground up.
Yeah. And it's by myself most of the time, so I got to do it all myself. And I'm not as young and vile as I used to be. Yes.
We just figured that out. Talking about your. So, when do you anticipate it will be seaworthy?
I figure this.
Is it really seaworthy? If we're talking, you're not going to put it in the sea. You're going to put it in a lake, right?
Yeah, but I'll take the Lake Erie in places when I get it done. So yeah, it's probably mid-October. It's looking like now.
So Lake Erie, you could put it on Lake Erie?
Yeah, but I'm not going to lose sight of land. It's not a good thing. So.
Well, one of the things that people may or may not know, and I used to go with my uncle, we would camp out on whatever the closest island is to what was it, Big Bass or whatever it is. Yeah. There was a park. There was a state park on that island with campground. And so we would go up, we'd take the ferry over to the island. We'd bring his boat, just a little dinghy, almost like a rowboat.
Sure.
We'd take his boat and we would take some camping equipment, and obviously then, because it was a tent, we didn't have a camper. Sure. And so we'd pitch the tent and I would camp there with my uncle, and we would this was usually in the fall. So I don't know what we were fishing for. Perch. Well, I know what we were fishing, perch.
Yes.
Yeah. And I love perch. And maybe that's the reason. Maybe my fond memories of my uncle, and it was my mother's brother that, maybe camping there and fishing. But what I thought was particularly unusual about fishing for perch, and I don't know if this is the case always, but the hook or the whatever the rig is that you use was like, and it was like a spring, and it was curved, and at the top is what you attach to your line,
right? And
then this curve would hang down because it was weighted,
right?
And then you would you'd have hooks at the end of both those bent, springy springs, and you would be able to put, either the same or different bait on each hook.
Yep.
And then the way that you perch fished, because perch, and they're a great fish, but a lot of people don't like to eat fish that are particularly bottom dwellers,
right?
And perch are,
right?
And they also school, so they usually are in schools. So you would you'd go out, and you wouldn't have to go out very far, especially Lake Erie, and you would put your line into the water with this hook that was curved, and it was weighted, and it would go down, and you'd wait. You could feel it hit the bottom of the lake, right there near the shore, and it would actually bounce up and down as your boat bounced up and down. But it would have those hooks with maybe a minnow on one and a worm on another or whatever, and you'd get this bite, and you start to reel it in, and as you started to reel it in, you wouldn't get that far up, reeling it in, and you'd get a second bite.
Yes.
So the perch would hit both. You'd end up reeling it in, and most of the time you had a perch on each hook. So I thought that was always unique and interesting. Yeah. And the perch are really good eating fish. Yeah. That's one of my favorite as far as I like catfish too, but I like perch.
Yeah. And there's definitely a difference between ocean perch and freshwater perch.
So, which is better in your taste?
Mine, I'd rather have Lake Erie, or freshwater perch.
Kevin says, and that's you like the Lake Erie perch?
Oh yeah,
yeah. Well, and sort of a side note here, because I've always had motion sickness, and I used to go to Florida during the break between Christmas and New Year's. So we'd go to Miami, and I would spend, and when I say as an adult, with whatever girlfriend I had that before I was married, maybe even when I was married, I'd take my girlfriend too. But anyway, between Christmas and New Year's, we'd spend, which it wasn't, Miami was not that warm, but for someone from Ohio, even if it was 60 plus degrees, that was steaming hot.
Sure.
And so we'd go down there. So I got this real bright idea that we would take a boat out to fish, to whatever, just to, so it was a charter that other people chartered as well. Anyway, and I had Dramamine. The only problem was I didn't take it before I left. I took it when I was already almost passed out sick. And so here we are, we're out on the ocean off Miami Beach, and I am down in the head the entire time because I couldn't do anything but look at the head for that whole trip. Yeah. Everyone else had a great time. Yeah. Not Rick. Rick was so when we went to Lake Erie, it was the same situation. Lake Erie is a very shallow lake. It's the shallowest of all the lakes. Right. That's why it's dangerous a lot of times because weather will come up on Lake Erie, and because of it being the shallowest, it affects the boats that are on the lake a lot more than any other lake that might be deeper, like Superior. And so anyway, we would go offshore, and I had to, the first few minutes, half an hour, whatever, that we would be in the boat, I would be off the side of the boat throwing up.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Until
my stomach was empty. You'd think that I wouldn't eat before but anyway, once all that was done, then I could fish with my uncle, but I had that same, and that boat, because it's so shallow, that boat, feels every wave and rocking. Whew. And so, but that's the only problem. You've gotten used to it over the years because you've done so much fishing.
I've never been seasick, but I did take my boy out to Gatlinburg, and we went out on a $400 shark charter, thinking we're going to guarantee to catch shark.
Right.
We got skunked. We're out there for 6, 7, 8 hours.
No shark? Did you catch anything else? Or you weren't fishing for anything else?
Well, they kind of convinced us to go after some grunts because we were out there catching nothing.
What is a grunt?
Just a juvenile fish.
A juvenile fish?
Yeah, which you probably can't keep, but they're just fun to catch. And you catch hundreds of them. So, but...
do they have wildlife people that are around in boats and watching, just like they do?
Yeah. But they got a lot of area to cover, too. So
I was going to say, it's the ocean. Yeah. And if you go far enough offshore, I guess they can't do anything, can they?
Well...
If you're 3 miles off?
Depends where it's at and whose region it is, actually. Getting out by international waters is probably a little different with stuff, but yeah.
Well, I know that, our wildlife people and the Department of Natural Resources here in Ohio, they seem to be everywhere. Oh, yeah. So, you can be fishing off a riverbank, in some obscure little creek or whatever, and they show up. Oh, yeah. And so that's why, I was fortunate because when I was young and the property that we had a pond on it. So, with ponds, you can fish in your own pond because it's your pond. But if you tried fishing in the creek that ran beside it, you can't do that.
Yep. I think the benefit of purchase, they're easy to catch when they're on.
Michelle liked them, apparently. Yeah.
And you can take 50 pounds home in a hurry because the limit is still high on what you bring home.
Right.
So.
And do you think because they're a schooling fish that's part of the reason? Because see, probably in fishing in my pond, my most famous or my most prized possession is the bass. Oh, yeah. Because we have a lot of bass in the pond, and largemouth, smallmouth, but the largemouth are probably the best. And they give you a fight. The only thing that probably will give you more of a fight would be maybe if you have a catfish in the pond, because usually they get quite large, and they will tug at your line. But bass, I don't even remember whether I ever ate anything out of the pond. And part of the reason I didn't was because above the pond was a farm field. And you have to be careful because, the runoff that comes off the field, when they're planting soybean and they're planting corn, as they often do around Clinton County. I just didn't want, not only for myself or for the family, to actually eat any of the fish for fear that. So we typically would catch them and throw them back in the pond.
Sure.
Now I had a neighbor who lived across the street, across the lane from me on our private lane, and they take them. So I assume that they, ate them.
Yeah.
But and it's the same way with even the water. We had a well on our property.
Sure.
And even though we had it tested and we, you pour bleach in it every so often, you do things to, protect from bacteria and that kind of stuff. I never used the water from the well, but at the same time, I never drank, up until we got county water, I never drank the water, even once the county first put it in, because I just bought, like everybody else does, or a lot of people do. They'll go to Kroger, they'll go to Aldi's or whatever, and they'll get gallon jugs of water.
Sure.
And I don't know that water is any better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's from around the corner.
You're right, yeah. And on Mitchell Road, which was not far from where we had our property, and you know nothing of this, but there was a natural spring.
Oh, wow.
That I think it's still running to this day. But you would see people often go up to that spring because it was on the side of a hill where the little pipe came out and that water would be trickling, the whole time. People would bring their gallon jugs and they'd fill them up at the spring. Now, I never drank the water that came out of that spring, but obviously it must have been, I think they call them artesian wells or whatever, an never-ending stream of water. But that was that part of Mitchell Row. I think you probably, if you drove up it today, you'd probably see, if the water's running, there'll be people with their gallon jugs filling up their water jugs with what they deem to be, great water, I guess. Hello, Dean Thompson.
Yeah.
How are you?
Where are we at tonight? Or tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, we are at Miami Trace.
Okay.
Miami Trace will host. You asked me too fast.
Uh-oh.
You know what? We may not be at Miami Trace.
Oh, okay.
We may be back once again at Washington, because I think that Miami Trace is away. I'll have to catch up, and we'll tell everybody before we go off the air. But
Courthouse
sure enough,
might be in Jackson too, though.
well, that's true, but it may be Jackson. Well, we'll look it up before we speculate. But we'll be at either Miami Trace or we will be at Washington for their home game. Last week, it was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
It unfortunately, the Blue Lions lost, but it was a closely fought battle. And Chillicothe, in the last quarter, actually half of the last quarter, they pulled it out. But it was nip and tuck that whole time. And whereas Miami Trace, they set records and ran off with the, and they played. Who did they play last week? Once again, escape. We do so much. It's hard to keep track of all this. But anyway, I know that they set some rushing records. They set some other records. They're setting records every week, and of course, they're undefeated right now. They're the only team in the area that, because I think even our Clinton Massey Falcons have lost a game this year.
Wow.
But other than that, I think they're ranked right now 5th in the state or 5th in their region as far as. And that's the other thing about football this year. In years past, since COVID, they allowed 16 teams to go into the playoffs in each division. And last year, they added additional divisions. I don't know whether it was 1 or 2. But I think we're up to Division 7 now. We have 7 divisions. And by adding additional divisions, they take, because the school, we haven't added any new schools in Ohio, but they take the schools that are there and they divide them up further. And so when you go to produce brackets to do playoffs, the brackets become thinner and thinner because there's not as many schools to put into the bracket. So I think they kind of messed it up is what I'm saying. So I think they're trying to go back because they're reducing the number of schools that can go into the playoffs from 16 to 12, which that will make it a little more competitive. And so we'll see how that works out this year. But obviously there will be some schools. I know Wilmington is at the bottom of their bracket or at the bottom of their division right now. some schools like Wilmington, even if they still have a winning record, may not make it into the playoffs this year.
Oh, wow.
So there'll be a lot of schools that will be on that bubble, and even Washington may be one of those teams. I don't know.
Sure.
We'll have to look at that, but we'll find out where and who and what is playing Friday, and we'll update you here in a minute. But let's take a break, and maybe we can look that up. Hint?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
We'll be back.
Yes. Oh, I had to ask that loaded question, didn't I?
The final resting place haunted junkyard is located at 988 Polk Road in Sabina, Ohio. Our hours of operation are 8 to 12 of midnight Friday and Saturday nights through the month of October. Our opening weekend is the last weekend of September.
Roller Haven is located at 1640 U.S. Highway 22 Northwest, Washington Courthouse, Ohio. The perfect place for a day out with the family, birthday parties, and even an organization event or fundraiser. Check out our website, rollerhavenwch.com. Or give us a call at 740-335-6481 and we can help plan your event. We look forward to seeing you there.
Welcome to downtown Wilmington, Ohio, the place to be. Experience something new with your family and friends in this vibrant and family-friendly historic district. When it comes to dining, shopping, and entertainment, downtown Wilmington has it all. From quick bites to high-end diners, we have a variety of food options to satisfy your taste buds. Explore our artisan boutique shops, jewelers, and florists for unique finds. Pamper yourself with soothing spa treatments, rejuvenating massages, and stylish haircuts at our top-notch studios. Dive into the world of art with our captivating galleries. And catch a show at the historic Murphy Theater, featuring awe-inspiring performances and cultural events. Immerse yourself in history by visiting our iconic landmarks, such as the Murphy Theater, historic General Denver Hotel, our Cultural History Center, and beautifully preserved historic architecture. Throughout the year, Main Street Wilmington hosts a variety of exciting events that embody the spirit of our town. From the Hometown Holodazzle Illuminated Parade to the family-friendly Halloween event and our lively wine walk, there's always something fun happening. Additionally, the Convention and Visitors Bureau presents a summer concert series featuring the annual Rock the Block, and we also have our weekly farmers markets. We boast a designated outdoor refreshment area where you can purchase alcoholic beverages and carry them as you explore the town. So what are you waiting for? Plan your next weekend getaway in downtown Wilmington. Head over to mainstreetwilmington.com for all the latest updates on events, dining, shopping, and entertainment. Downtown Wilmington, Ohio is the place to be. We extend our gratitude to Ralph's American Grill, World Equestrian Center, and R&L Carriers for their sponsorship that supported the creation of this video.
We're back.
Yeah.
So
Away game.
they both can't be away.
I know that's what it says here.
Yeah.
I know.
How
That's
many
weird.
traces at home then? Let me see if I can. I don't.
10-10?
Oh, temperature dips to 30 degrees tonight and early Friday morning.
Ooh, good.
Frost will be possible, especially in rural and wind-sheltered locations. Is that us? Are we rural and wind-sheltered?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let me go. I do not like to use max preps, but
Oh, and
Let me
that's
just-
where I was at.
was it?
Yeah.
All right. Let me go. Miami Trace. Trace. Football schedule. They both can't be away.
I wouldn't think so, but
All right. Panthers are 7-0, 2-0 in their conference, which is the FAC, Frontier League, and they play. Their opponent is. They're at McLean. This says they're at McLean.
Right.
And then they will host Jackson on the 17th. So that means that because unless I misread it at the beginning of the year, which means we're not anywhere Friday, but I think that we probably let me look at Washington. Washington High School. Because you might have pulled up a different year or something. Okay, so they are 4-3, and they're 1-1 in the FAC. And their schedule is. I gotta pull up the schedule first. Their schedule is. Oh look, there you are out in the end zone taking. They lost to Chillicothe 34-29. That's the game that we did this last week.
Nail biter.
They are playing and hosting Jackson. So tomorrow night we are at Washington.
Okay.
That's right, for Jackson.
Okay.
And then that's the last game that we will play at Washington Courthouse. And then we'll do the last two games at Miami Trace, including the black and blue game, which is between Washington and Miami Trace. And that will be at Trace this year. And that, I'll tell you, Washington probably in the last at least couple years is more likely to give Miami Trace a run for their money. They always play tough against cousins, you know.
Right.
And so it will be a battle. It used to, this game, which is at the end of the year, which I prefer, unlike what they did over in the SBAAC where they've changed things up. And, you know, Wilmington played the big game last week against Clinton Massey instead of at the end of the year like they do with the black and blue. Yeah. But it sort of takes something away from it when it's not the last game of the season.
Sure.
But because it's the last game, you know, before going into the tournament and all that. And I would imagine that if Miami Trace continues to win, as they are doing now, and they end up 10-0, they will probably host at least one, maybe two games. And I know with this 12-game schedule or this 12-team schedule, it may only be one game, but they'll host at least one game at Miami Trace. And they have the stadium to be able to accomplish that as well. Whereas Washington, if they were able to host, they couldn't, simply because they don't have turf. And the Ohio High School Athletic Association requires that if you're going to host a tournament game, you have to have turf. You cannot have grass. I prefer grass. I think it's safer on the players and all that. But it's not very practical when you're trying. You need an all-weather surface in order to be able to play a football game.
Yep.
But anyway, that's it in a nutshell.
Good.
So you may be a little nipply this weekend, but at the same time, the sun is lower in the sky as it does as we get. So you won't have it in your eyes as long, and you've got your stake out in the end zone. That's like your end zone in both those end zones, and
me and the bees.
Yes, the bees. But although they should probably be less active if it's going to get cold. So you won't have to worry about the what type of bees are those? So
they're wasps of some sort.
They're wasps.
Yeah, and I bet paper wasps.
I'm sure that most people, when you see they cut that pipe that is like it's like a 3 or 4 inch culvert pipe. They'll cut it and then they stick it over the top of the chain link fence so that you don't cut yourself, whatever. So that's what they've got, you know, along a lot of the fence there. Well, it's a great pipe for wasps to put their nests in. Yeah. And so when it was warmer earlier in the season, when you were there, you would see his picture and there'd be all these things flying around like that because he'd have all these wasps that he was infuriating there with the but we won't have as much of that
No.
if we get the cold weather. All right, I'm trying to pull up the stream
Oh.
because I hadn't I turned it off for the. Oh, there's two good-looking guys on that stream. Yeah, and I look like I'm off to Hawaii, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what's interesting about this shirt? If you look at this shirt, when I first bought it, I thought this is kind of strange. It's lighter on this side and it's darker on the inside.
Oh, wow.
And it almost looks like, see,
Yeah.
it almost looks like it's inside out, but it's not. I can't reverse it. But I actually like the other side better than I like this side. So I don't know. This was one of those Target specials, so maybe it should have been at a outlet mall or something. I don't know.
Target.
Yeah, or maybe it's like Temu or something like that. But anyway,
Yeah.
all right. And yes, Rick Morton, the next 2 weeks will have a lot to do with just what we are going to see as far as these playoffs. And we know Massey will be in the playoffs. It's questionable as to whether Wilmington will be in the playoffs because where they're ranked right now, out of the 12 teams that will get in, they're like at the bottom, or they're like 16th or something like that in that region. So they'll have to win some games between now and then, and they'll have to hope that some of the other teams that maybe have beaten them will lose in order to improve their position. I don't know, but if we look at the teams right now that will probably end up in the playoffs, for sure it'll be Miami Trace and of course the Falcons over at Clinton Massey. But other area teams that make it, I'm not really. I think that maybe there might be a few teams that are here in the area that will also be eligible to be in the playoffs too. And a lot of them are in the same region that Miami Trace and I think that if things continue to go the way they are for the Blue Lions, they may be in the playoffs, which would be great too. That'd be nice.
They've been playing really good ball on both sides of the ball. So that's,
Yeah, they have a balanced offense and they have a really good defense. So, and they've already had an upset this year as far as the team that they beat
Granville.
Granville was not supposed to lose to, and they got thumped.
Yeah.
I mean, they actually put it to them. So that was an impressive win. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well, what else do we have that?
Oh, well, in Courthouse, I'm sure it's the same here. It's the awesome viewers that make the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean,
and we're not saying this to blow smoke,
right?
But our viewers are very intelligent, and they're they just like when we put a question out there, we always have an answer,
right?
And we've got such a diversity. Even looking at the demographics, because I get demographic information on the people that view. Now it's changed. It's changed over the last few weeks. The age has come down as far as the age of the viewer.
Wow.
And actually, it's a more sellable demographic because the famous demographic that marketers talk about, and I have a degree in marketing, but the demographic is that, 18, 20-year-old to 30 or 35-year-old demographic, female. Those are the women that are out there spending all the money. And that's the coveted demographic that you look for. As far as if you're going to have advertisers and they'll want to advertise with you, to be able to show them that demographic. And our demographics, since we started, was more, let's say, a car show age. And so it was more people my age. And it's not that it isn't a coveted demographic in itself, because people that are my age are usually, they've grown up, they're settled, they have invested, money, they have pensions, they have Social Security, so they have some spendable income. It's fixed, but they they'll go out there and spend money when they want to. And to have a car that you would put in a car show, you got to have some jack too, because some of those cars, they can be $40,000.
Oh yeah.
So it's not that is a bad demographic, but what we've always strived for was to try to keep the age younger or bring in younger people. And that's another reason that we're working with Dustin Pierce and Molly. Dustin is 35 and Molly is, I think, 24. And so we're hoping that we can bring a temporary, part-time, whatever you want to call them, co-hosts into the show that will help drive those demographics lower so that it's not just a bunch of old men. And that will increase our, range and our demographics as far as diversity. And I know a lot of people negatively talk about diversity, but in this case, it's good. It's good because, first of all, people like me are not going to be around forever. That's why we're bringing in people like him, because even if he's, 10, 15 years younger, he'll be around when I'm not, as far as probably doing Wake Up Washington Courthouse years in the future. And that's what, that's what we've got to do. We've got to keep bringing in youngsters. You got any kids?
I have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
How old?
24, I think.
Male or female?
Male.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I took the easy route.
Yeah?
Males.
Well, maybe we'll have to at some point start training him for the future.
Yeah, there we go.
And that's what we do with interns from the college. A lot of the young people that we've had as interns over the years, for instance, one of them, he grew up as an adult. He now runs the public television station in Piqua, Ohio.
Oh, wow.
And A.J. Ganger. And Lexi Doddridge, who is going to be getting married in the near future. She was a young lady from, once again, Wilmington College that grew up, and she originally worked for the Minnesota Timberwolves, I think, organization. And then I think she found that Minnesota colds are rotten. So anyway, so she moved back to Ohio, and she loves the Buckeyes. Her dad and her go to the Buckeyes games every year, everywhere. They actually go away and go to the games. So anyway, Lexi is a group ticket salesperson for the Buckeyes. Her fiance and husband-to-be is the assistant ladies basketball coach at Ohio State.
Wow.
So she has some inside track there. And Lexi interned for us for a few years from Wilmington College. And she traveled all over the place. She was up at the Hall of Fame with us and some of the other places, the colleges that we went to, that we did, sports and that. And she did work with us when we were at Wilmington College as well. So anyway, some of the interesting people that have interned with us, and that's how we keep young, even when we pass this banter, this baton to the next person, whatever. That's a dreary thought, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm glad I'm so young.
Yeah, you're so young. Yeah. And hairy.
Yes.
And hairier, getting hairier.
Yes.
Getting hairier by the minute.
Yes.
I don't think I will honor the November no shave pledge. I can't.
Yeah.
I need a haircut though.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to get a haircut.
I think my wife likes anything that hides my face.
You think?
I think.
Do you think she finds you attractive?
Maybe when the lights are off.
When the lights are
Yeah.
off? Oh, okay.
Yeah. But other than that.
It's like when you're watching television or something, she can take you.
Yeah. So, yeah. It's interesting. It's funny. And she gave me my allowance yesterday, so I'm in good
Oh, you
shape.
get an allowance?
Yes.
Would you ask her if she has an allowance for me?
Well, I'll ask her, but it's not real great because I don't get a whole lot.
Oh,
No.
Yeah.
It's like, she says, and you should make that last all month.
Okay, but do you get as much as you make or less?
Oh, I'm sure it's a lot less.
A lot. Well, you don't even know what you make?
Well,
I mean,
no,
did they pay her directly?
Yeah.
It's direct deposited?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's probably got an offshore account somewhere.
Well, and as I understand it, when you signed up, your wife made a lot more money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She's actually taking it easy. She's already retired, isn't she?
Well,
Sorta?
she retired herself.
Oh, yeah.
She quit.
Oh.
So, yes.
Well, it's the same thing, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, are you the only gainfully employed person in the family now?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah.
In the house, yes.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
and you get just a very small stipend
Yes.
to be able to exist on.
Yeah. But, yes.
Well, let's face it, women control the money.
Yeah, and she does an amazing job of making sure that we have everything.
Oh, well,
So,
that's good.
yeah.
That's good.
You got to put the plug
You
where
better,
it belongs.
yeah,
Yes.
you better, because if not,
Yes.
you won't be going home tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and in fact, I had suggested that if she throws you out of the house or whatever, you got a home here.
Oh.
We're actually going to be working on the wiring. You could,
Oh,
if
yeah.
you know anything about wiring,
Huh?
or you could even hold the wire as we unravel it, because it's all in. When I took the wire, I took it off. I made the mistake. I took the wire off the roll, and now it's in a big glump.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's got to be unglumped. And
Yeah.
so to unglump it is because it's pretty thick wire, and it's it's used for that we're going to use for the speakers out front. And I think I probably shouldn't have taken it off the roll. That was probably a critical error.
Is that like a Cat 5?
It's
Better.
It's actually thicker and
Yeah.
But anyway, the wire is the same wire that was up there, but after over a decade of UV light and heat and cool and that, it was disintegrating. So we decided that if we were going to have music on Main, by Christmas, we would have to replace all the wire from speakers to speakers. There's 7 speakers that run across Main Street here in Wilmington, and those speakers, will all be connected up again once we get the new wire strung. And it goes along the outside of the building on the 2nd floor, across the front of all the buildings on Main Street, starting from the end of the block right there at South Street, all the way back to Rome Jewelers. And so that's what we're in the process of replacing. And they've gotten it replaced from South Street here to the Murphy Theater. And now what we have to do is, the way that we're working it, last year we attempted in the winter, which was a bad time. We attempted to bring the wire from outside into inside and across the hall to our suite, so that we could connect all the equipment in our suite to run the music and the automation and all that, because we've never had that type of system here.
Right.
And so anyway, the problem was it was very cold, and Trevor Shoemaker and I, first of all, having the window open when it was cold and blowy, and we're right behind the Murphy marquee where we bring it into the building. And what we simply did was we had to drill a really little hole the size of the wire, and that came from the window frame. It didn't, we didn't do anything that would, compromise the window. But on the side of the window frame, we put the little hole and brought the wire in, and it's across the way. And the problem is we're not going to use that wire. They have decided that the way they're going to rewire this, because what we did was we tried to tap into the existing wire, strip it and tap into it and attach the wire that was going back to our suite to that wire. It didn't work. So, and the wire was already, like I said, disintegrating. So the new wire, it was pointless. I tested it, put the amplifier on it, and you could barely hear any sound coming out of the speakers. So we realized, 1, we had to replace the wire, and 2, we had to attach it differently. So at each speaker, you can wire into that speaker to connect the next speaker, but you can also, in the case of running wire to an amplifier, you can run that wire, and you don't want to just cut the wire and tap into it. You want to run it to a speaker. So we're going to run this wire to the closest speaker here in front of the Murphy. And so all your connections will be done in the back of the speaker, where it's all protected and it's waterproof and all that. They learned.
Yeah. Sort of a series.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, there will be 7 speakers across Main Street. We bought a new one for the Pocket Park on Main. And there's some new developments that may occur with the Pocket Park too. We'll see. But anyway, hopefully we'll get all that done, not this weekend, because we're going to finish our work today with just getting the wire restrung back to the amplifier. But then I think Sunday they're going to finish the wire down past Rome Jewelers here on Main Street. So the wire will be strung back. Then they'll connect all the speakers together, because right now they're not even wired in, but they'll connect all the speakers together with the wire that's hanging right beside the speakers. And hopefully it will be a series of speakers connected, and once the amplifier is added, and we're not even sure this amplifier hasn't shorted out. So what we're doing is there's no point in even testing it until we get all these things connected back up. But those are the technical stuff that I do every day of the week that everybody says, what does he do? What is it that he's doing?
Yeah. I have to say, from the outside looking in, I never imagined there was this much moving parts in everything that happens. And yeah.
And, you know, the whole thing, just like with adding the cameras and having the weather cam, so to speak, and that, you know, all this will enhance our ability, not only because the other thing is, and we've already, this is one of the reasons the city was willing to help us and installing them on their poles, was because the cameras also can be used in an emergency. So if there's an accident, or if there's, you know, if they have to go back and look at film or whatever, those cameras will be active and be accessible by the city to be able to use them if they have to. And it's not that they're trying to spy on anybody, and they're not going to be used, you know, to write traffic tickets or anything like that. But, you know, if something occurs, for instance, we have a camera in the pocket park, and because there's sometimes some thievery that goes on. In fact, one of the reasons that we bought a new speaker for the pocket park was because someone cut the old one down and stole it. You know, and you know, so that's why we do the things we do sometimes. But anyway. So,
I like it. I like the moving and shaking going on.
There's a lot of moving and shaking going on.
And actually, I have to say, Courthouse, they're looking into stuff that's going to be awesome.
And Courthouse has had music around the courthouse for quite a while.
Right.
See, and that's the kind of thing that, you know, one city can you know, borrow from another city. And there are things that can be done. And, you know, who knows, you know, what new stuff we'll do up in Courthouse, you know, for the future. But ultimately, our wake-up programs, Wake Up Wilmington, Wake Up Washington Courthouse, if we add to Hillsborough, if we add to Chillicothe or wherever, those wake-up programs hopefully will be sort of, you know, one of those center of the universe things for businesses and for government, and to be able to inform the public and to be able to let people out there know. And certainly all this information that we're giving you is not something that's entertaining, at least today, but in a way maybe it is, because at least you're learning about, you know, what we're forging ahead to do, and what we're trying to do to improve, you know, the community that you live in.
Sure.
And that's what these wake-up programs are all about. It's to help, you know, inform you and entertain you and do all the things that Wake Up Wilmington and Wake Up Washington Courthouse are destined to do. And we're kind of funny people occasionally, too. Entertaining.
Yeah. We take care of Joe, make sure he stays in line.
Well, that's true. And Joe, by the way, you're wondering, where's Joe? Well, Joe had a doctor's appointment today, so we let him go to his doctor's appointment. It's nothing that we know of that's alarming or anything like that. But he did need to, you know, do whatever you do when you're his age, you know, occasionally to visit the doctor. Now, the last time I visited the doctor, and that's the only way I usually visit him, is when I'm in the hospital.
Yeah, me too.
I got to fall down the stairs in order to see a doctor. But anyway. All right, so we can't play a game, really. We can, and that's something I will tell our audience there, and you can inform other people. I've sent out a request this morning to a lot of our friends and people that watch the show and things like that. And if you didn't get a request, if you go to YouTube, to the Game On web YouTube page, follow it. And on Facebook, like it and follow it. Because I've sent out the bat signal to have people sign up to that page. Because one of the things that people enjoy about this program, when we have enough people to play the game, is some of the games that we have.
Oh, yeah.
And now we've gone the extra mile. We've actually purchased gaming software. 2 reasons. First of all, we will use it as a part of the show. And what does that do? Well, first of all, what it does is, because as the future progresses and we start doing more commercials and things like, we have to be more precise in the amount of time we take for certain things. And the game sometimes can drag on.
Yes.
So the software allows us to contain the games in specific times so that we can program commercials and the gaming and the entertainment and production all, so that it flows. So that's the first reason. But the second reason is it's prettier. The gaming actually will be visual. It will actually stream to the internet during the show. We can switch off from us to the game, so you'll see the screen, you'll see the pyramid, or you'll see the software that runs that game. And so on top of that, besides the fact that it's prettier, it functions better, and it's got sound, bells and whistles, and all that. And most of all, it does have a feature which people at home will enjoy, which is the fact that we will give you a web address that you can go to, and each day that we have a game, or for each game, there's a code that we will give you, and that code, if you go to that website, you enter your name and you enter the code, and that literally signs you on to the game, so that you're at home. Good. But you'll have a buzzer on your phone, on your, and it doesn't matter whether it's an Android or whether it's an Apple, it works on both because it's over the web. But you'll go to that website and you will see a button on your phone, and so you'll be able to play the game. You'll watch it, and you'll sign up for one of the teams, because we'll have people on teams just like we do before. The only difference is we may have four, like with the Family Feud type of game, there'll probably be 4 people in each family, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But so you'll be one of the 4 people, and you will be able to buzz in to the game. Cool. And be able to play the game from home as though you're right here in the studio.
Good.
Right here in Charlie's, right here in Washington Courthouse, wherever we're playing the game.
I don't want to lose my ability to answer squid.
Squid is an important answer, right. and it pops up so many times.
Yes, it's almost irritating.
It does.
Yes.
It gets a little irritating, but still, it's squid.
Yes.
Yeah, but just one of the many things that improvements, and we've had the software now. It's like everything else. We've had the software that we do this broadcast with, and it's changed because they update it, and that's why we've had some issues. But we've had this software for gaming now for several months. We just haven't actually used it. But once again, I am such a busy person. It's taking the time and getting it done. Another example is, and Joe's been after me about this, we have the ability to do instant replay now on Campus Nation. Oh. So we can take any one of our cameras that is the main camera, and we can capture whatever it's seeing for the last 10 seconds and replay it during the game for instant replay. And so we now have that capability, but I have to get it programmed and set up. And it's just like everything. Joe gives me all these things to do. Like, for instance, our Buckeyes roster for the Ohio State club football team. When we printed it off on the printer, everything's really big. And so Joe wants me to retype a 4-page roster down to 1 page, put them all on a single page so he can read it easier. Now, Joe didn't volunteer to do that. He said I could do it. So, and that's the problem. The problem is I only have so many hours in the day. So am I supposed to do the instant replay programming or the game programming or type up Joe's roster for Buckeye football in between the time that I'm on a ladder and, hanging green screen or I'm running wire or whatever? It's a conundrum. What can I say? Yeah. And if you in the audience want to come down and help us, feel free to do that. Yeah. Come on down and we'll hand you some wire.
Yeah.
And it's not the kind of wire you have to worry about being electrocuted. Yeah.
That's good.
Low power. It's like our radio station in Jeffersonville.
Yeah. So, just in closing, we're getting close here. So, anytime anybody, the viewers, want to suggest something to us, we're open-minded for change, different things. So, let us know.
Yeah, and I think that the point is that in each progression that happens, we get better.
Yeah.
For the most part. You know, we've been thrown some curves, you know, particularly over the last month. But I think that that's behind us, and I think that we don't have to be shocking in order to be able to entertain people or to inform people. And I think that in some ways, there are some people that probably would prefer maybe more seriousness to some of the stuff, because there's things that they want to hear, you know, and if you're not serious, they may not hear it.
Yeah.
And I know Trevor Shoemaker always wants to be taken seriously, but he's the first person that goes down the rabbit hole, so we got to dial him back.
Yeah.
So tomorrow night we are at Washington High School.
Yeah.
They're hosting Jackson, the Ironman. That game starts on Campus Nation at 6:30. Then I believe at 1:30 on Saturday, Joe Davis will not be involved in that broadcast, nor will Bill Learman. They're normally our play-by-play and color announcers. But I got with the SID at Wilmington College, and they have supplied us with 2 sports interns that can do the play-by-play, and maybe it'll even be better. We may just keep them and get rid of Joe, at least as for the Wilmington College games. But Joe has a prior commitment. He's been designated as, you know, because he's the world's best referee, you know, when it comes to volleyball. So Joe will be refereeing a tournament volleyball game, because we are going into the tournament. And by the way, we wanted to bring the volleyball team tournament game that's at Miami Trace on Monday on Campus Nation, but we still are looking for really 2 sponsors, $50 a pop, 2 sponsors, $100, because we pay to broadcast the games. People don't realize this. They just assume that, you know, it's like every other game that we do, that it's free. It costs us money when we get at the tournament level. We pay the state of Ohio or the Ohio High School Athletic Association, and that's the same thing with football and everything else. It's just that typically there are more people that are willing to contribute or to sponsor a football tournament game than they are, you know, a volleyball game. So if there is anyone out there, if you want to just, you know, donate, or you want to be able to you know, have your business advertised on our Campus Nation volleyball broadcast, that is occurring from Miami Trace High School if we get the sponsors on Monday. And I don't know that you'll be able to see it anywhere else. There might be another station or something that picks it up. You'll hear it on radio, I'm sure, you know, because usually the Fayette County radio stations, they'll pick it up. But the cost of doing video is usually 4 times. In other words, the cost that we pay the state is about 4 times what it costs if we just did it over the radio. Because the radio, especially for our low power, we could do it for almost next to nothing. And we could always do it on radio, but Campus Nation has always been video. I hate to, you know, revert to the only time we've ever done a radio broadcast is when you get to the state championship, like games in football, and we've done 2 Massey. When you get to the state level, as far as a football championship, you can't broadcast it on television because Spectrum owns the rights to all TV broadcasts. So we did broadcast the 2 championship games that we did for Massey. We did a radio broadcast for that, but that's the only reason that we did it audio, and we didn't do it audio and video. There's a guy in, you know, one of your uniforms that you wear quite often, a bright day glow green. He's out front there. Wonder what he's doing. Maybe one of your brethren or something.
Yeah, that was funny because when we did the meeting, I just didn't think about it, but I was wearing my "I'm going to get dirty all day" thing, and I was like,
"See, he's out there." Which meeting was that you were talking?
Vinyl.
Oh, when we were at Vinyl Coffee.
And here I'm in my
you were at work, weren't you?
Yeah.
You left work to come in to meet Branson Moody, along with Joe Davis and myself.
Right.
And we wanted to talk to Branson because he had a lot of questions that we are trying to answer. And of course, we're going to do this test stream on the 19th, Sunday the 19th, so that we can run a test stream as far as and that I'm going to stream it to the internet so that we have that saved because that like our haunt visit.
Yes.
Technically, we've got the ladder coming out.
Oh.
This is the individual that is helping Trevor and I string the wire.
There we go.
That's what that is. He's here just a little early because we got about 3 minutes before we sign off. But yes, he's one of the gentlemen that will be helping Trevor and I put get the wire strung. So anyway,
yeah,
I'm glad that he showed up on time.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a plus.
It is. So tomorrow, hopefully, and once again, it depends on how wrapped up I am in getting this wire up and all that. But hopefully tonight, I'll put in a trouble ticket on why we're having this issue with being able to go live when we punch the go live button. And then because we can do it manually, which is what I did this morning, rather than having to hit the button. But it's so much easier from the console here, from the switcher, for me to just hit the go live button and it works, than to have to, because I have to go upstairs to our studio, I have to get on the big computer, and I have to, set it up so that we go live, and it's harder to find for the public out there too. So that's the other thing. So anyway, well, we want to thank you for being in today. You're going to be back in tomorrow.
Yes.
And you're sort of, I guess you can say, in training, aren't you?
Yes, definitely in training. Yeah.
Are you learning anything?
I am. And then I'm trying to add some stuff and usually I don't ask
you always bring stuff to the table, so to speak. Yeah.
Sometimes I don't ask your permission, so.
Well, you don't have to.
No, but.
No.
Some of the stuff catches you off guard, I'm sure, but.
Well, that always makes
Martian friend, yes.
Your Martian friend, that was a shocker.
That was kind of.
In fact, that, what do they call that? That there's something that's traveling through our solar system right now that is passing Mars, and it's supposed to arrive at Earth on. Someone kept saying October, but I thought it was December. So I don't know. Maybe you out there in the audience know. I don't know whether it's coming or going to, arrive near Earth in October this month, or whether it's going to be here in December for Christmas. But it's long, it's cylindrical, and of course, everybody has speculated whether it's alien life or whether it's just a long cylindrical rock. That's and they some people call it a comet, but it doesn't have a tail, so we're not actually seeing. A typical comet usually is expelling gases out as it travels. This I don't think is doing that. It's and we had something similar to that a couple years back. I forget what they called that particular rock, but anyway, it's not supposed to be. It's several 100 million miles away from Earth, so it's not crashing into Earth. Whether it's coming in October or December, but it is in the solar system and traveling through our solar system and scheduled to arrive whenever it gets here. And so that may be some of your friends.
Yeah. Well, my Martian friend said, don't worry about it. It's going to Michigan.
Oh, it's going to Michigan.
So we probably won't have to worry about it.
Well, that's good. And if it arrives in December, that's just in time for Michigan.
Yes.
Because that's usually when Michigan and Ohio State play.
Yes.
But, only time will tell.
Right.
And if it arrives here and they offload, we will stream it live on Wake Up Wilmington. And if we're on the air with Wake Up Washington Courthouse, we'll do that as well. We'll simulcast.
Yeah.
And we will bring the live stream of the live people coming out of that. It's like a cigar.
Oh, yeah.
It almost looks like a cigar.
Yeah.
Yeah. And some people, when they show it, when they recreate what it looks like, they show it like there's lights in it and things like
so, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a Christmas bulb or something. So maybe it's here for Christmas. I don't know. But, the way I look at it, it's like this.
Yeah.
I'm not panicking. I'm cool. I'm calm. I'm collected. And cool as a cucumber, which is what it looks like. It looks like a cucumber, too.
Yes.
It could be an eggplant, too, or something like that.
Yeah.
What are those purple things that they have as emojis? Are those eggplants? Or
I think so, yeah.
Eggplants,
I grew them this year for the first time.
Oh, well, yeah. Are they purple?
Yeah.
Okay, so it looks like it might be a big, giant eggplant traveling through our solar system, headed for Earth, coming for Christmas to a theater near you. And if it comes close enough that we can catch it in our lens, we will stream it live
There we go.
Right here on Wake Up Wilmington. And we appreciate all of you folks in the audience. And obviously, we had some technical difficulties yesterday and today. Maybe we'll get that worked out tomorrow. Maybe we won't. But any way you look at it, we will be here, and we hope you will be too. Thanks.
Yep. Thanks.